Welcome back to episode 57, friends. Why is it we give fear so much of our time and our energy? If we could learn to see past our fears, do you know all the opportunities waiting for us? The fabbo, abundance, and success in business, heck, our life too, right? Waiting for us on the other side of those fears. I mean, can you imagine how unstoppable we would be if we would just embrace these fears? Embrace your fears and be unstoppable. That's our topic for today. This is the Be Fabbo podcast. Now turn out those earbuds and let's get motivated to be unstoppable. Thanks for listening to the Be Fabbo podcast. Episodes full of candid conversations that speak to the hard truth that it takes more than hustle and luck to be your own CEO. Being a creative entrepreneur and running a business is not at all like the glam that you see on Instagram or reality TV. The truth is, it's showing up every single day, putting in the blood, sweat, and yes, lots of tears. Oh, do not forget all the hard work. I'm your host, Bobby Brinkman, photographer, coach, speaker, wedding industry educator, diet Mountain Dew addict. You see why, right? I am hitting the pause on that hustle and luck myth button because it's more than getting a really cute website and hanging a now open sign. Not just waving the magic wand so that all the success, money, and clients will just be lined up, ready to hire you. Hope is not a business strategy, my friends. And along with my guests, the goal of our podcast is to motivate, educate, and celebrate creative entrepreneurs discussing topics and information that will help you get and keep you in that CEO mindset through our candid conversations. You're going to hear stories from other creatives at different stages along their career journey. They'll be sharing the same struggles you have, as well as business insights, tools, and foundations that they have in place to keep their businesses moving forward, no matter what kind of SHIT tries to knock you off your career path. I want to challenge you to unapologetically keep showing up to attract your ideal clients, serve them in the most fabbo way, while collecting a purpose-driven paycheck. I want to empower you to create a career that you not only love and are proud of, but also one that your clients love and will support even more. Now let's get started. Hey, I know some of you joined me on Clubhouse earlier. Thanks for showing up for that and being part of that conversation. And there we dove into these 5 tips or steps, if you want to call them. But as promised to our Fabbo podcast listeners like y'all, we're going to be sharing the 10 tips and these steps, the 10 more steps in total. Now I know that there's way more than 10, right? There's 10,000, a million ways to overcome our fears. But these 10 steps are what my coaching students seem to keep showing up with. They're more relevant. So I want you to grab a notebook, or however as you take your notes, especially if you're out walking or running or driving, safety first. So maybe you can come back to this episode when you have some time to sit. And here's my suggestion. I have found that these tips and steps really serve you better if you can devote some quiet time, find a quiet space, and dive in on this exercise. All right, let's get started. Number 1, make a list of all of your fears. Now, be honest here and be specific about those fears. I want you to include the details on why you have these fears. All right? Again, be honest and specific. Number 2, prioritize your list from the most fearful to the least. And what I want you to do is I want you to get that biggest fear out of the way first. Write it down, write it in bold, because when we start tackling things from the top, it's like that snowball effect, right? As we start clicking off that list and checking off those fears, as we get down to that bottom of your list, the one that was the least fearful, it's going to be an easier progression. Number 3, I want you to focus on your why. I know. I'm asking about your why again, but I honestly feel that our why has so much to do with our business and how that allows for our life that we want and we deserve. I believe it's parallel in our businesses. I want you to think about, why did you start your business? Why you do what you do? How do you feel when you're able to do what you do? Now I want you to write your answers down here. I want you to name it to claim it. You guys hear me say that one is a lot as well. But writing it down occasionally helps us to fine-tune that focus. Then you can go back and reread your why and your goals whenever you need that little extra push to overcome a fear that might be creeping in. So write down, again, focus on your why. Number 4, express how much struggle or pain these fears have on your business that are carrying over into your life. And by that I mean I want you to take a little bit of time here to hone in on how much of fear or struggle in your business affects your day-to-day life. And if you're already one that struggles with a work-life balance, these fears may be the first ones that you want to overcome. Lots of times we think about, I have so much work to do. I have all these emails, or I have all these responses I need to get to. If we could find somebody like a VA assistant or somebody to take that off, is that a fear that we can relieve, right? Is that a fear of letting go? A fear of delegating might be on your list. If we can get rid of that fear, if that's one of them, our life balance would be, I'm not worrying about that. I'm not afraid something might be slipping through because I trust somebody to take over that fear, right? So write those down. Express how much struggle or pain these fears have on your business, and let's see if they carry over to your life, okay? Number 5, write down what your business is missing out on because of these fears. Now, I'm going to share here that many of my coaching students come to me, and it's a repeat, as I said earlier. 4 business fears. There seems to be 4 business fears that are common among all of them. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, and fear of selling. Now, if any of these are you, if any of those 4, now you could have 4 more, 10 more, 100 more, 2 more, 1 more. But are these 4 the most common that we see, especially in small business? So are these 4, or whatever your fears are they causing you to miss out on so many opportunities? And if so, by writing them down, we can start conquering them. And again, the 4 business fears that seem to be relevant are that fear of failure. You're afraid you're not going to make it. You're a fear of trying, right? If you started your business, you already stepped over that fear once. Well, let's keep doing that. Fear of success. Man, a lot of us deal with this one, right? We are just, oh my gosh, if I get successful, I have to keep getting successful. If I get to where I wanted to be, what's next? So sometimes that fear of success holds us back from taking another step. That dreaded fear of rejection. I went another direction. We in the wedding industry, right? We're wedding pros. We hear that I went in another direction, or we decided to move in another direction. We hate to get those emails, right? So that rejection on any level is a fear. It hurts, it stings. We start questioning, what is it about me? What could I have done better? We all want to be chosen. We all want to be wanted. So fear of rejection is probably on your list. Now the fear of selling. And I have news for you, my fellow pros in the industry. Every time we serve, we're selling. When we show up on a wedding day and we're doing our jobs, we're selling what we know how to do. We're just doing it quietly. I think a lot of us forget that service is selling. So you might not want to say, hey, here's my collection, or here's that proposal, because all of a sudden I'm sending out what I say that I'm worth. I'm sending out a proposal to get income for what I believe is valid for my talents and my time. That fear of rejection happens after we have that fear of selling. So those are some things that we want to overcome. Let's see if those 4 end up on your list. Number 6, try this. If you can, again, not driving, close your eyes. And again, I want you to visualize or imagine that any one of the fears that are on your list is happening at this very moment, like right now. I want you to sit here and visualize one of your greatest fears happening, right? So take a minute to do that. Close your eyes. Hone in. Really get real with this. Visualize. Are you experiencing the worst of this fear? I mean, let yourself feel that pit in your stomach to your overanalyzing brain. Maybe the fear is somebody's going to tell me no. Someone's going to think I'm not professional. You're afraid you're going to embarrass yourself. All right? Visualizing it. Now I want you to open your eyes. So what are you thinking? What are you telling yourself about seeing one of those business fears play out in your mind? Think about it. What? What was the worst thing that happened? What was the worst result or the worst outcome from that fear? Now I want you to shift that. Now I want you to sit there and visualize what's the best that can happen. What is the best that can happen if I overcome these fears? And I hope you're telling yourself right now that the risk is worth it. Number 7, What would your business look like if you could get past the fears on this list? The benefits of overcoming them. What would your business look like if you wiped out this list of fears? If in the next couple of days you checked everything off, they might have been big, they might have been small, but you're checking off these fears. What would you create if you could overcome these fears? What would your business look like? Power and purpose, my friends. Power and purpose. Number 8, I want you to separate yourself from your fears because they are not you. Your fears are not you. Fear is not something you were born with. I know this is hard, but once you start working on your fears, and it's not going to be an overnight fix, friends. It took a long time for these fears to settle in. And even though you're working on certain fears now, trust me, other fears will creep in and try to fill that self-doubt and shake your confidence. But as you work on getting these fears under control, you'll have so much more energy to take the steps to go after different and bigger goals. So let's move past that fear mountain and get you back on the path of being unstoppable. So I want you to think of those things. I want you to remember that you're separating yourself from the fears because the fears are not you. Number 9, how will your life and your business be better once these fears are no longer real for you? Once these fears are dust or not even existing, you've crossed them off this list. How will your life and your business be better? Part 2 of this little step is I want you right now, since we're on number 9, we're on number 9 on our list, I want you to set aside underneath number 9 or a separate piece of paper 3 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 6 months that the fears on the list were holding you back. Let me repeat that. I want you to write down 3 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 6 months from the list of fears that we're taking off your list. This list of fears is going away. So 3 things you would like to accomplish in the next 6 months because those fears were holding you back are now gone. The single best way to embrace fear, my friends, is to do it anyway. So write those 3 goals down and go accomplish them. The fear on these lists today is being crossed off and checked. We're going to tear the piece of paper up and we're going to toss it away. But I want you now to have 3 additional goals to accomplish in the next 6 months. And finally, number 10, I want you to find your support system of people, your tribe, whatever the word is, your community, whatever word you want to use. Now, this does not mean I want you to sit with others that are also on that fear struggle bus because, let's face it, fear, anxiety, sympathy, all love company, right? I want you to surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to be doing. I know, I'm a broken record on that, but I truly believe that when you're around people that are doing what you're doing, when they're living a life that have happiness and joy, when they're running a business from a space of happiness and joy, that rubs off on you. I fully believe in that positivity vibe so much. Surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to be doing. Now, I don't want you to be like them. That's a whole nother podcast, right? I don't want you to do what they do. I don't want you to try to be them. I want you to do what you do because you're the secret sauce. Remember, you're the secret sauce to your business. You are what sets your business apart. You are why clients choose and hire you. So surround yourself with the possibility and the positivity that these people will encourage you. Maybe it's time you get a coach or a mentor that will push you, that understands your fears, but isn't going to do the work for you. Find others that will cheer you on, but also hold you accountable and offer that tough love when you let fear or the I can't attitude start creeping in and showing up again. I want you to set your intentions to be positive, even when it's scary and hard. And it is scary and hard. Overcoming a business fear is hard. It's hard. I'm right here with you. 40 years I've been in this industry, I've had my business for 40 years. I have a couple businesses. It's hard. Fear creeps in. But remember, it's not you. I want you to remember to keep betting on yourself and believe in yourself and believe in your business. Go after the business and the life that you want and you deserve. George Adair said, everything you want is on the other side of fear. And my friends, I fully believe that. All right, listeners, I'm going to leave you with these final thoughts. Fear is like fuel that keeps feeding the fire. Don't feed the fire. Fuel is like fuel. It keeps feeding the fire of what's stopping you. Don't feed the fire. Fear will often show up in our areas of our business when we need to improve. I do believe that. I think fear comes in when we know that we need to make a change, for the good or for the worse. Maybe we have to terminate somebody. Maybe we have to go hire somebody. Both of those scenarios are scary, but they often appear when we need to improve. Fear of failing should never be an excuse not to try. You hung your shingle. You went and got your tax forms. You went and got your sign. Heck, you went out and got business cards. Heck, you got yourself a website and a social media account. You showed up. You took the first step. Stop being afraid of taking the next one. Stop being afraid of trying. Fear of failing should never be an excuse not to try. All right. Thanks for being Fabbo and spending your time with me. It's always such a privilege to be popping into your earbuds or wherever you get your podcast. Peace and gratitude, my friends. Peace and gratitude. On to being unstoppable. Till next time, everybody. Thanks for being Fabbo.
For more information about today's show, check out the show notes on the Be Fabbo blog at bobbybrinkman.com. Along with some offers for our listeners, you'll also find information about how to work with Bobby as a coach, a speaker, or for workshops. She'd love to collaborate with you. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to the podcast to keep motivation coming to your earbuds. Be Fabbo.